let's look at something here. Guy goes into church, kills 9 people. They give him food after, like they go buy him some Burger King after that. You see other people, you see people my race as African American could get pulled over at a for a traffic stop and get shot because they felt like he was reaching for something. To those people that is uncomfortable, I must ask you, do you ever feel uncomfortable when you get pulled over? Because if you don't, then there you go. That's the privilege that you have, whether if it's white or not.
Mainly got to college is that I had to realize how much of a business it was. I didn't put 2 and 2 together that it's a business. So anything that happens is really not personal. It's what they feel like is best for business. So sometimes they can determine what they want for you. And you got to really be mentally strong to be playing college ball, whether if it's JUCO, D1, D2, D3, NAIA. It doesn't matter what level it is. You really have to be mentally strong because it's a challenge. And I look at myself as living proof because for one, to get through JUCO ball, it is very tough. I don't mean classes-wise. I did great in class, but just the demands is tough. The demands, what they want you to do, the workout, it's crazy. You know what? I was about to tell you, I said, you getting better because you ain't said it yet.
I hate when I do that. You know what's crazy though? When I talk to Lee, I don't do that. No, I catch myself. I don't know. We still get used to it.
Y'all still gotta get used to it. It's only been 3
years.
3 years now, so that's still gonna take time. No, when we first came around, my mama this, my mama that. I'm sitting there, I was like, I'm sitting there, y'all telling me stories. I'm like, I'm not gonna say nothing.
So you ain't got to say mama.
In my head, I'm like, and then one day I caught you. I said, look, y'all do realize that's my mama too, right?
I was like, oh shit, bro. Now I feel bad when I say it because I'm like, bro, chill out.
ICC is always our downfall. Cause after that, it kind of messes us up. So that was the year we had a very great chance of beating ICC. We were so serious. Remember the most disrespectful stuff we did in pregame? I don't know. I've seen robberies on TV, but being a part of a robbery like that was crazy. High school I was a part of robberies, but we never did no disrespectful stuff like that. We had some people who did some disrespectful stuff to us. Like we had our Tiger in the middle of the field in high school, and people they was clawing at it with their cleats and stuff. And I was like, okay, that's disrespectful. Remember, we had the ash ceremony because we wrote all the stuff that ever bothered us, and Coach said he was gonna burn it, and then he had the ashes and he put it in the middle of the field, and we stomped on it. That was pretty crazy because you remember when we did it, ICC was standing outside the locker room already, just watching everything happen, and it was like it said FICC on 3, 1, 2, 3, FICC, and we looked at them, and when we said it. And I feel like their locker room is a setup. First of all, why? Because remember they got their home locker room. Their away locker room is literally beside theirs. Bruh, so we got to the point.
It was a lot of tension coming out of there, boy.
Oh yeah, because you got people standing outside. Yeah, and they like, all right,
and then you got us. You know what I'm saying? We going back and forth with them.
Yeah, because we hype. Because we remember what happened the year before that, and we just hype. We trying to win at this point because this is when Trump won the election and Hillary Clinton lost. I ain't gonna lie, his mind behind the tweet was smart, but him tweeting it wasn't smart. He said Hillary ain't the only Clinton that's gonna take an L. I was like, man. Them boys saw that tweet and just he was saying like we was gonna beat Clinton. I'm like, man, look, that's a nice concept. And Clinton saw that, man, they just started laughing at us. We ain't even made it to the game yet. So we get to the game. First of all, the first drive, I ain't gonna lie, I started talking my talk because we stopped them. We stopped them on the 3, and I said, "Oh, this game, we gonna do our thing tonight. On everything, we ain't going for that tonight." Yeah, next drive, quarterback draw straight through the middle. Ain't nobody touch him.
Good boy, bro. Y'all boys talking too early.
Thing I asked Marcus in the last episode, we gonna transition to music. You a big music guy. I'm a big music guy. Give me your top 5, and then you can also give me 4 honorable mentions.
Top 5 artists?
Top 5 of your favorite artists of all time, and then give me your honorable mentions of 4 others.
Oh man. So first, of course, I gotta go with my guy Jermaine Cole. You know,
Ooh, okay, okay.
the
Respect.
feelings back, the thrill is back. You know what I'm saying? Then I gotta go with my guy Pop.
There you go.
I mean, and them two are in order. Now the rest, they just like they're not really in order. I like it. I'm a personal fan of him. Eminem, he's my guy.
Lyricist.
Lyricist, just one of the best to do it.
Good
Um,
wordplay.
Who else? I listen to. I'm a little different from most kids in our generation, but I don't know, man. Them three right there, I really do put above. I like Kendrick. I put him in the top 5.
And this reminded me about this book I read, To Kill a Mockingbird, when I read this at school. It was our one of our reading assignments. Why? Now here's the real question. I'm about to put you on game. Yeah, well, have you read that book before?
I haven't. Go
I'm
ahead,
about to put you on. I'm about to put you on game real quick. Why is that book? Why is that book banned from all schools right now? That book was about someone that falsely got accused of raping a white girl. But why is that book banned when stuff like that still happen to this day? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But any kind of other thing, it's like, okay, well, it's in a book. But like something like that, which is something that still happens to this day, which anybody knows that it's not right. They literally banned it. Like you can look it up. That book is banned in a lot of schools. Like, okay, get them. Like, oh, all right. You come out there. It was crazy because you came out there and we all. That was like, to me, that's the most iconic moment ever. Me, you, and Jamarcus finally got to go out. Even though it's more iconic because
That was
that was a night. You never went out before. That's what makes me realize I done been through so much. I've been and after that college. That's also, I'm a college student as well. I've been in the bar scene, so it's like I know what it is. And Jamarcus has seen a little bit of, but all three of us, I'm like, wow, okay. Then you.
So what am I supposed to do anyway? I don't understand.
I'm
I
telling
ain't
him
even
like,
come dressed right.
I'm like, look, it was so crazy. That's the funniest part right there. Cause I'm like, he was like, "Hey, you ready?" I'm like, "I'm good. You good? You ready?" Yeah, I'm ready. I'm in my head. I'm like, I know damn well he not leaving the house like this. I'm like, he probably got some extra clothes in the car. August 13th of 2018 was a year that is rough. It was a day that was rough to me because like I would have never expected to hear that news that I expected. But before I say the news, just know that, when someone seems happy and in public and they'll tell you everything's fine, you never truly know at the time. You never know. Like you can't really tell if someone's actually happy. And I think that's the scariest thing about anybody that could truly like keep that bottled in, because when this situation went down, it killed me. So one of my friends, she passed away due to suicide on August 13th, 2018. I had just saw her 2 weeks before that, and I was at the gym working out, getting ready for camp. I come up to her because we went to high school together. My senior year, we were very good friends, and I'm like, hey, how you doing? You been good? And it was a great conversation. I would have never expected anything. And then I remember that day of August 13th. That was a weird day. Like, time someone passes, I've had 2 weird days. That day when she passed, a lot of weird stuff was happening. Then the day Kobe passed, which that's my childhood idol, a lot of weird things happened that day too. But the day she passed, a lot of crazy stuff was happening. I remember I woke up, I just felt weird. As I do rewind back to the first time that I remember her coming out here, was when I got sick, and I think that's when you said around that time was when he passed, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Take me through that. Take me through that situation where, like, was it 2 weeks after he passed where she had to go, or what was the time frame when she had to come out here?
Shit, maybe not even a month. He died. His funeral was May 12th, I think. Not May,
Okay.
March 12th.
Right.
My birthday. She left before my birthday. I remember that.
True that.
So maybe maybe 2 weeks later. I don't even remember how she told me, but I know I was sad because her and Bubba left, and I was just like, Damn, one, I'm finna turn 11. My daddy just died a couple of weeks ago. We just buried this man. Now you telling me you gotta go to Mississippi, and it's like I can put myself in other people's shoes because I mean I understood I had a sick brother, but I was like, fuck, I ain't never met the nigga before. I ain't trying to be, mean, but I'm for real.
I can't get mad at that. I mean, hey,
You know, you
it's
see
true.
it if you see certain things in the news. It's like people are taking this way worse than it should be. Like all they ask is to wear a mask. Or wear a mask in that certain place, and when you get in the car, you can take the thing off.
Yeah. People
No.
against that. They just say, I don't want to wear a mask.
They want to march. They want to say it's against their human rights. Okay, all right, I get it, but you're not making any sense right now.
Like, do it. Like, mask up, man. Like, we're just trying to get through this, all of us. We're in this together.
I wish I could agree with you on that, but I feel like we are in this together. But when you ask anybody else, we're not in this together because they just feel like they should do what the heck they want when they want. Doesn't matter. And like part of it's like, okay, don't live in fear, but another part of it's like be careful because like nobody's gonna think it's real until you get it.
Yeah, that's what I tell a lot of people. Like, it's not like impactful to you unless you know someone that gets it, someone that gets it. Or like your family member, it hits differently than when you see it from like someone you don't know. It's like, dang. But if it happens to someone you do know, it's like, oh man, hold on, I gotta get right and go ahead and make sure I'm doing what I gotta do. It's just it hits you different.
It did. That's when I was realizing it was getting more serious when they got my mom. They got my mom actually months ago. I remember she told me about like, whoa, yeah, this is real now. Ways that I want to support my kids in certain ways. But I always like to ask those questions to certain people, like how's fatherhood, this, that. Like with Lee, I had to ask him about fatherhood because.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't think he probably was one of the last people you thought to have a kid.
Man, I didn't. You know what? That's funny because I said I really never expected you to have a kid before me. I swear I never did.
No. Yeah, cause I remember, I was listening to some of the earlier podcasts as well, and I do remember Lee being that angry person, man. So I'm like,
man, you definitely can remember that.
Yeah, like how how in the world would you want to bring a kid into the world? You're angry all the time, but but he, obviously when it came to JJ and to Mary, that changed his perspective a lot, and it does. I mean, it is the best responsibility in the world, and I say that because it is a responsibility, and you get paid for it, but you get paid with time, and you get paid with memories, and not financially, right? So,
Philando Castile, Terrence Crutcher, Sandra Bland, Eric Garner, Mike Brown, Rakia Boyd, Sean Bell, Tamir Rice, Freddie Gray, Danroy Henry, Oscar Grant III, Kendrick Maydade, Ayana Jones, Ramerly Graham, Amado Diallo, Trayvon Martin, John Crawford III, Jonathan Farrell, George Floyd, Jacob Blake, Ahmaud Aubrey, Breonna Taylor. Colin Kaepernick knelt for this. Everybody called him wrong. Players speak out because all these names that I've named, of all these murders that have happened, no one has been convicted. Where's the accountability for that? Educate yourself and understand why everybody is so tired about this. It's not for any reason.
Experience. That's why I was like, I've always never understood how it felt. That's how I didn't understand how it felt to be loved. Like all my family, that I do love, they love me back. But the true definition of love, I just didn't know what it was. And I mean, certain people kind of spread their love in different ways. I've learned certain ways that certain people spread their love. They like to coddle people, And then there's other people that like to use tough love. Me personally, I'm a kind of in a mixture of both. I can either coddle you or I can use tough love. Some people, it depends on that person. I feel like you should not give tough love to everybody if they don't need it. Because certain people certain people don't respond to that kind of thing. They don't know how to respond to tough love because maybe they've had their situations where they've probably been talked down to. So if you talk down to them, but you're really giving them tough love, they look at it as you talking down to them, and that's just gonna mess up their mind. So I don't feel like that's right.
Perfect is ups and downs.
Yes.
That's your protector. They should always be your rock and shield through hard times and good times.
Now the last question on that one, because you just mentioned what I was actually about to ask about the hard times. So with being that protective, no one else has what they have. Can have. So let's think about it's hard times. They're separated or something, but you still got that part of them.
Mm-hmm.
But see, we're talking about two mature people here, for example, though. So not like no petty stuff. So for somebody else, they're away from each other, and maybe it's time to move on. But you still hold that piece of them forever. Could that be something?
Yes, it can.
Okay. I'm talking in general as friendships wise. I want to show love to my friends. Let them know like, hey man, like I'm in your life for a reason. Like I appreciate everything you do. And then I got other days where you probably won't hear from me like that, just because one, I'm just focused on the task in front of me of whatever I need to do that day, get it done. But I just don't want to be social that day, and that's kind of how I've always been. And I feel like it's bad, because it's rubbed certain people the wrong way, and I've had to tell them like, look, I'm not that guy that you can always speak to every day as your friend. Some days I just mentally don't really want to talk to people. Not saying like I don't love them, it's just sometimes I just need a break. I need to recharge, especially on the weekends. I just want to kind of be on my own. I'm agitated. I just don't want to. I don't want to do trash that. Little subject of mine. Confession number 5. This is a childhood confession right here, because I was 6 or 7 when I came up with this. I hated that question back in elementary school when they'll be like, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" I'm like, I don't know. So I thought being a bus driver would be the coolest thing. So I wanted to be a bus driver when I was a kid. Instantly changed that, because I had to tell my dad about it, and I was like, Dad, I think I want to be a bus driver. Yeah, he shut that down real quick, and then eventually I started. You look these things up, or he'll look it up for you. He'll tell you like this, and plus then I rode the bus a lot when I was a kid too, and I started to realize I'm like, I'm not. The moral of that is that you never know what can happen 10 years from now. So 12-year-old me, you had a bright future. You have a bright future. It's crazy because I've already lived that life. But just to say, like, that's what I would have said. Like, man, you got a bright future ahead of you. You just got to understand the direction you're going in, and you're going to have to make some decisions that everybody's not going to agree with, whether if it means leaving home, whether if it also means you have to kind of distance yourself from people. But it's crazy because he throws, Jeremy likes to throw people in the fire. He's thrown a lot of us in the fire, and it's like, I wasn't prepared for this. Like, you just come in one day, oh yeah, they didn't show up, you're on it. You got like 25 minutes to prepare, and it's like, you really can't prepare for that first time. Like that first time, I remember I came, he gave me a 2 days heads up. He's like, yeah, you're gonna be on JV basketball, you're going to be on color commentary. Keep in mind, I've only been at Faulkner for 2 weeks. So I'm like, I said I was ready to get on the mic, but I didn't know if I was that ready yet. Like, can I get like a few more time, a little bit more time? Let me get some practice, something. But I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm going to knock it out. I'm just going to talk basketball. But the nerves wasn't really there when it came to basketball. My nerves actually came when I did my first actual sideline interview for basketball, man. I was doing I had an interview with baseball. I had one of the baseball coaches, and I go back and watch that interview every time. That was the worst. The crazy part was
was that when I was talking, but when I heard my voice like travel through the headphones, I was like, oh wow, this is live. Like
Yeah.
Also, this is another good thing about May was that at this point I have equipment coming in for, you know, what now is 20 episodes in, but at the time, nothing but just trying to find an idea of what I was going to do. And for anybody who has listened to previous episodes, you know, I've talked about how the beginning stages was. And to anybody who hasn't, the beginning stages was rough. It was perfectionist too. It was a perfection kind of thing. I'm a perfectionist when I want to do certain things. So I wanted to figure out the best name, the best thing that I'm a person that goes in certain directions. So the direction has to be something that fits me and fits probably what I want. So yeah, I mean so that's where I was going with that. I remember the original name was supposed to be What's Buzzing with Bullock. Now, just think of how that would work out. That it just wouldn't have worked out. I don't know what I was thinking with that. I remember I made the cover for it, and I instantly just changed that up. That's just something I always have to remember for myself. So let's go into number 3. Don't be afraid to take a step further towards your goals. With this, I mean, obviously with it being a new year, everybody has goals. Everybody has goals every day. And some people do New Year's resolutions. It's like, yeah, I want to do this, I want to do that. And I'm not really a true believer in New Year's resolutions because I believe in you don't have to wait till New Year to change things. But if you do, I mean, take a step further. Put your foot in the door. Don't be afraid to do certain things that you said you was going to do. Don't let things delay you. I mean, you got to do those things that you were set out to do and that you wanted to do, because at the end of the day, like I said, going back to number 1, you control your destiny. You write the ending of your own book. You probably know the end of that story. You have big aspirations, so why not put your foot in the door? You never know what that one step can be. That one step can get you 10 more steps, and that's why they always say try to get a foot. So always remember just to take a step further. I don't feel like Black History Month maybe it was taken seriously in school, but I don't feel like they went in depth about it as they should. And of course, there's certain things about certain inventions that they won't talk about. You have to look those things up, which is it's crazy because like, all right, well, does that mean I've been told a lot this whole time, or maybe I just haven't been told at all? It's a lot of things I feel like it's gonna change. I just don't know where we go from here as far as this whole pandemic, and where do we go from here as far as day-to-day operations. Like, they also said that, you know, technology would be the reason that there would be a lot more jobs in that field as far as technology. So like, if you're tech savvy, that can get you in the door. So the thing is that those jobs or those careers that are limited on technology, those jobs gonna be cut? Will those not even exist anymore? We used to have these kind of discussions in school, but to think that it really would come like in front of our eyes that fast, I don't think we would have thought of it like this as far as like COVID. But I kind of just wonder, what if like this is a step to us really just being virtual to everything? Imagine, like, you know, I've just, you know, for people who go to work, you show up and you go to work. What about, like, if it depends on the kind of job where you can just virtually get on. Some people, when it comes to student athletes, that's how they look at it. Nobody understands how you get mistreated until you address how mistreated you are, and all of a sudden it's like, well, you know, we could work this out. Well, you had opportunities, because you need to understand, like, my problem is with certain coaches that I've been coached by over the years since high school, is that high school wasn't a big issue, but really when we got to JUCO, I don't really think you can be a coach and not understand your players. Like, you can a little bit, but you can't just Coach all the time. Coach all the time. It's not gonna work because there's gonna be downtime, especially when you're at a college. You have downtime. Really anywhere. In high school too. You got so much downtime to just work out, and you want to, and especially those players playing for you and landing on the line for you. You eventually got to start picking at them, picking at their brain, and figuring out why they are the way they are. What got them to this point in the first? But just to have that, first of all, shout out to everybody that did graduate this year and who was a part of the class of 2021. High school or college. And secondly, I actually got to do a graduation. It wasn't a virtual thing. Like, I actually physically got to have my graduation. That was big because I know last year when the class of 2020 didn't have theirs, I got worried because I'm like, man, what if this stuff lasts long enough to where I don't have mine? That I wouldn't have been frustrated, but the atmosphere of just knowing that you're at a graduation to celebrate the work you've put in it's something that I just think gets taken for granted. That have pictures, those picture memories, and those, those go a long way. I would love to have those. Oh yeah, Cambodia. I didn't think of that place. Yeah, I would like to go there too, just to understand how their lifestyle is. Guatemala, same. That's also another place. Again, guys, I just want to be on an island. Like, I want to be on an island. I want to have my own island. Now, that would probably cost a lot, but I would still want to, be like having my own island, or just, heck, I'd want my own boat. Lately I've been saying I want my own beach house. I want to like, it'd be cool to have your own beach house, have your own spot. I think that would just be a way to say, like, all right, I'm living now.